Hello, team. That's my palm on my hand, you can see there. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Now,
Hello.
I know we did a film yesterday about the Meghan and Harry debacle, but I mean, the story keeps moving on, so we thought it would be good to do another one today. Blimey. I mean, every time you turn on the phone, there's something new.
else, yeah, and I have to confess, why isn't it coming up on my thingy?
So, how are you all? Is she furious? Hi, guys. Hello, Nadia, Mark.
Hello.
Good evening to you too. Hi,
Hello,
Louise. Hi,
Sorry.
Michelle.
Trying to get it up on the screen at the same time. There we go.
So, of course, everything that we're going to be talking about is sources says, insiders at the palace.
Can I just say, the first thing I want to say is that the Buckingham Palace seems about as leaky as a sieve. I mean, at one point they were having a four-way conversation on their telephones, and the press was reporting it whilst the four-way conversation was happening.
Going on.
So there must be someone else in these rooms on the phone going, yep, they're talking to each other right now. Yep, they're coming into the room.
Do you not think sometimes these sources are sources that are condoned by the royal family because they want a certain... Oh, I do. I think some of them...
I don't think they all are. I think
No, I didn't say all. No, some of them.
Well, maybe some
leaks
are,
that the royal family's PR people want to come out because there's so much supposition. There must be a certain amount of control they would
I don't think any institution wants the outside world to see their institution in a state of panic.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, do you think that some of these sources said are condoned by the palace because they want some control of what's being discussed? For instance, we've heard today that the Queen, that it was in early stages, that she had said that Harry had asked for a meeting in Sandringham, but she had said not until a few days and not to make the announcement before. That doesn't feel particularly salacious, that kind of leak, but it feels like it might be a bit of an explanation that might have been condoned.
I don't think I quite follow what you mean. I mean,
I think some of these leaks are from the royal family themselves.
Well, I disagree. I totally disagree. I think the leaks, there's no need for leaks from the royal family because they're constantly issuing press statements. I thought their press statement was the most revealing of all press statements I've ever seen released from a royal family or from the royal family, when they said that this activity that's being done by Harry and Meghan is not at the progressed stage that is being suggested, basically, i.e. that we are at the earliest stages of negotiations. I think what's really telling and quite dramatic, and I was taking quite a sort of favourable attitude towards them both last night, is the haste with which it's happened. I do feel fundamentally, on a level, that anything like this, as I understand it, Prince Charles and the Queen and Prince William were given 10 minutes grace.
That's what what's
been reported. 10 minutes grace to digest the news, and then basically firefight. And the recommendation from Prince Charles and Prince William, or Prince Charles for sure, and the Queen was just put a lid on it and hold it back for a minute. Now, I'm not necessarily a royalist, but I'm certainly not a Republican. But I do think it's an institution that, I know a lot of people talk about the tax issues. It's also one of our greatest, it's one of our greatest assets, money-making assets. We can on the one hand moan about the tax when they're annoying us, but we also would hate it if we weren't getting as many tourists into central London. And believe you and me, the income of this country would go down dramatically if there wasn't a royal family. And I'm not a royalist. So what I'm trying to say there is, it is an institution with responsibilities, whether you like them or not. I just think they could have gone about it in a far more kinder way.
The latest bit of news, which I find incredibly shocking, is that Meghan's flown back to Canada yesterday.
I know someone just, you've just seen
She flew back to Canada yesterday.
What, leaving him holding the baby?
No, the baby, they left the baby in Canada with the nanny, came back, and then she's gone back. I mean, there's lots of people saying there, she knew she was marrying the royal family. It seems a very, very short amount of time to adjust.
Yeah.
I say again, so many of the things that have been right. For instance, when they went and did the documentary about the suffering in Africa, I think it was completely the wrong place to be talking about the trials and tribulations that they have in their life. People not asking them how they feel, blah blah blah. I totally believe that, and the more and more I read, that Harry is traumatized by the death of his mother and in some kind of post-traumatic stress thing. And I think he, on a subconscious level, chose Meghan because somewhere in him he knew that probably Meghan was going to say, right, come on, let's get out of here. I do think, I think it's shocking. If it is true, we don't know if it's true. If it's true that the Queen was not, and Charles and William were only told this 10 minutes before, sent an email, I think that must be so hurt. You know what I've heard nobody talking about? How hurt Charles and William must be.
Well, that is a major part of it,
a real they've been really tight ever since Diana died, and that has been broken up.
Well, a lot of people feel that Meghan's the reason for that.
But the pain of just being told that you're leaving the firm, the business, the family, and emigrating in that way, they must just be, oh my God, I mean, they just must be so upset.
I think the other thing to bear in mind as well, though, although Meghan comes from a sort of acting world, I mean, we're not talking big Hollywood. She was in Suits and stuff like that, wasn't she? So we're not talking A-lister, A-lister.
I agree.
I do think you underestimate, there's not only the American-British clash and culture adjustment, there's the class one too. There's no getting away from it. You know, there's probably a bit of truth in both sides. That the whole experience was way beyond anything she imagined. She probably has been and was and will be and is in way too deep into something that's very different. She'll have also been experienced quite a contemporary version of the royal family and Harry. I mean, both the boys, Harry and William, are of this world as best as they can be. You know, they're kind of plugged into real people's interests and all that kind of, you know, they're not so distant like Andrew and Charles and the Queen. So maybe she felt, oh, he's a nice chap. He's kind of on a par with me. And then you get into the system. The institution of the royal family is very different to falling in love with a member of the royal family.
I know, but I mean, the thing is, you know, apparently Prince Harry and the Queen, it's always been said, are incredibly close. You know,
well, that's a
at
fact,
the moment, her husband is extremely ill. She's in her 90s. She's just had the absolute horror of Prince Andrew and the shame that he's brought on the family. You just think you just wait a little bit for the Queen, you know, because this is an abdication. This is.
Well, this is what they're using, the word abdication. I know, but I mean, this is what I don't understand. What is the rush?
Because the thing is, here's the thing. They have made themselves, and this is what I was saying today on the telly, they have made themselves now of global interest. They will be hounded. The royal press are actually very respectful. Other press agencies might pick up on stuff and distort the stuff, but to a large degree they are protected. And of course, you know, I know a lot of journalists. I know a lot of things. I hear a lot of things that journalists know about the royal family that is kept secret out of respect for the royal family. So I just worry, without all that protection, without the security protection that they have, you know, 6 security officers, because that won't continue. Also, the other thing I feel really strongly about is if they are abdicating, stepping down, resigning, they should not keep their titles.
No, I agree.
What do you think? Do you think they should keep their titles? Do you think they should keep their millions of pounds?
Do you know one of the consequences of them not keeping their titles is if they meet the Queen or he meets his brother, he will have to bow?
Yeah, but the thing is, if they keep their titles, they are saying, people are predicting they could earn $1 billion within a decade, and that's increased because of the title. And I don't think that's right. I really don't.
But do you think this is a money-orientated thing? Surely they've got everything they want or need. I mean, I can't believe they're doing this in order to earn more. I doubt if they're doing
it to earn more money. But I think that, like I say, I think that Harry has got post-traumatic stress. I think he's trying to fix through Meghan what he couldn't fix as a small boy for his mum. She doesn't want it hounded. He doesn't want bad things said about her. But I really, really think, I mean, think about when Diana died, she'd left the firm and she was starting a new life with Dodie.
I know.
That was the thing.
And
did that keep her safe? Did that keep the... No, I just think...
And to be fair, when you read all of the details about Prince Charles and the Queen wanting to kind of talk through the details, because that's a lot of the language, isn't it? We need to process this. This isn't just a decision you make. It's not like me saying, right, I'm out of here and I'm in the car and I'm off down the road. Well, I think, you know, there'll be as much talking about, okay, well, if you want to extrapolate yourself from the institution of the monarchy, let's do it in a way that's safe for you as much as it's safe for the institution. Because you're right, there are striking parallels between the way in which the two of them are kind of going off at a sort of tangent in the way that we were seeing all those reports of Diana.
I mean, that interview that they did within their documentary about Africa, and I don't know who it was, a number of people have said, and I agree with you, there should have been two separate documentaries. We shouldn't have, when we were listening about people that, you know, enduring famine and poverty and child rape and all these things, what happened was that actually they opened up about their emotional difficulties, and people actually went, oh God, it's inappropriate. And I think they felt hurt about that. It's like, still we're not being listened to, you know. Somebody there was saying, listen, I really don't think there's any problem with them going off and having their own life, but they shouldn't have their titles and they shouldn't have the privilege. I totally agree. If you are that, I totally believe, I think it's absolutely fine if they want to resign from the firm. But I do think there was a better way to, if what we've been led to believe is what happened, to have informed a very elderly grandmother whose husband is very ill and she's just had the trauma of her son doing what he did, and the way that they've done it. And I just think it's disrespectful at the end to the royal family, to the institution. Whether we like it or not, it is an institution. There is a protocol, and it's just so rude. I mean, the Queen doesn't know anything about Instagram.
Well, I'm still staggered that it happened on Instagram. I'm also staggered that there's a...
Well, the reason they did it on Instagram is because they could completely control it.
Well, yeah, I know, but at the same time...
Well, they could have given a statement out to the papers.
They could have given a statement out to the papers, but also, I don't know, I still keep coming back to the idea that it just seems incredibly rushed, incredibly sudden. No one's blaming Meghan versus Harry more. What's the rift between Harry and William? I mean,
that's the thing I think
I'm more concerned about that sibling rift.
Well, and Charles. If you think about it, they were very Charles really stepped up to the plate, didn't he? He tried to soften, to become less stiff upper lip. They always talk about how much they love their father. Since he's got married, we have not seen them together at all, have we?
No.
We haven't. And another thing, I know this is only a little thing, but to throw a bomb of an announcement like that on Catherine's birthday, when there's a big birthday going on.
Well, isn't there a rumour that Meghan and Catherine don't get on?
Well, the rumours are they don't get on,
But do you think there was a bit... Well, I can't believe it would have been done on purpose on Catherine's birthday.
Vanessa Wilde, hugely bad timing, putting their first world issues against background of really serious environment in South Africa. And I think we can't really skip over that because that says a lot. Like when you said, I don't think they would have done it on purpose about Catherine. I think you're right. I don't think they did it on purpose. But there seems to be a real lack of thinking about others. And, you know, as she said in that documentary, Meghan, it's not about thriving, right? It's not about surviving, right? It's about thriving. Well, yeah, but not at the detriment of everybody else and just doing exactly what you want.
Julia Service says it's only been announced in a rush because someone leaked it to The Sun. So the urgency, is there a sense that the urgency has been forced upon them?
I haven't heard that from anyone.
No, I haven't either. I mean, I know The Sun was on top of it, and I believe it was talking about that fact today. I fear for Meghan's mental health.
Michael
I fear for Harry's as well.
I think that Harry and Meghan should do what Edward did in the 30s, step down. Oh, sorry, that Edward. I thought you meant Prince Edward, Prince Andrew's brother. Wallace. Because do you remember when Prince Edward and his wife Sophie were really trying to do things differently,
the new prince,
and they got vilified. You know, every single woman that has come in, every single wife that has come into the royal family has had a period of time where they've been ripped to pieces by the press, and then they find a way to deal with it. And Edward and Sophie pulled back, didn't they? And they got their own businesses and they just stayed out of the limelight, and it all went away. I don't feel that's going to be... Do you remember how awful they were to Prince Edward's wife?
No,
Sophie?
I do.
I mean, they really gave it to her.
I mean, in a way, as we were saying last night, I think the hounding will only continue. I think all of this is just proof that it's not... However they've gone about it, this was the wrong way.
I think
I mean, it has to be the wrong way. If
I can
they'd
see
done
there's
it...
lots of new people joining us today. Welcome to our channel. There's an
Yes.
awful lot going on in this channel, so just hit the subscribe button below now so that you don't miss the other stuff, because we quite often do these surprise lives.
You're right, Xander. They did it to Fergie too. I mean, any outsider, they home in on the vulnerable or the one that wants to step aside, and yet at the same time, I mean, I'm seeing lots of comments saying they should give up the... You know what? I'm not interested in their privileges. I accept that they're the uber rich, and I accept that they're the monarchy. All that stuff for me is by the by. But I do think that there is a fundamental sort of respect afforded even within a family, and I think this is why it's interesting, people. There's a huge amount of loyalty, going back to the question on the title here, a huge amount of loyalty towards the Queen coming through all of this. She's got a very poorly husband. She's had to put Andrew on the naughty step and cancel his party big time.
Andrew, her favourite son. And now Harry, her favourite grandchild.
Yeah,
I mean, oh my God.
So I tell you what I'm slightly concerned about is that the fractures from this will reach into the monarchy in a different way. Elsewhere, if you know what I mean. They had someone on Twitter the other day, a mystic, saying that she was holding 4 leaks or something, saying, I believe that Royal was going to die this year. It's kind of a safe bet when there's a couple of them in their 90s, isn't it? And what a ludicrous forecast.
Yeah,
but
Zara and Peter do have a great balance, you're right. I mean, somebody just said that, I think it was Julie Guthrie said that and we were talking about this on the telly today as well. Judy Love was talking about it. I thought it was really true. Let's not forget, we're talking all the time about Meghan. How is Harry feeling? What is going on with our prince?
I know.
He's definitely traumatised by, he said, every flashbulb, every click of a camera, I'm taken back.
Yeah.
Maybe what's going on with Meghan has triggered all of that back to him. He's talked before about his mental health issues.
Rebecca Elliott, Harry isn't well.
Yeah, and I think we do have to think about Harry and think about what is going on for him.
And God, don't say that. Now I feel really bloody worried about it.
Well, yeah, but it's a good point, though, isn't it? I mean, it is out of character. He was very into his family, a real sense of honour. I mean, of duty. He loved his time. How's he going to feel being away from the army, being away from the country he loves, being away from his brother that he loves very, very much? I mean, let's not forget, a year ago we were watching documentaries with him and his brother saying how their relationship meant everything to them.
I'm seeing this vulnerable boy that was walking behind his mother's funeral cortege. And I do think perhaps he's gone into a bit of an unaware panic. It's like he's gone into panic mode.
He's triggered.
He's gone into a panic mode. Now, that's different from saying, I'm not signing up to this idea that Meghan's this sort of Machiavellian, mischievous character. Elliott. Not at all. But she's ill-informed and ill-equipped to deal with the machine that is the monarchy, or the British press, let's face it.
Bogle Reid, I give them 2 years until divorce. Now, this is a lot of talk.
That's catastrophic.
There's a lot of talk about this, whether they will actually survive, because sometimes when a couple have got something really big that they're fighting against, if they take that away, it can be...
Yes, you're right. That's the energy that keeps them holding them together. And all. Well, don't say that. So this could happen. They divorce.
Well, I don't know. We don't know. But hopefully it will all end up
But imagine if it did. What the hell would Harry do then? Would he have to come back with cap in hand?
I don't know. God. I mean, I think... the other consideration is... But I think nothing makes how they've done it okay. But one of the other considerations, because it's too easy to just say, this is just a simple case of Meghan forcing him to leave, because we just don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But maybe they are within this institution saying, you know what? It's all a load of old rubbish.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of quid of taxpayers' money is wasted on this. Maybe who knows? Look at the way we all feel disgusted and ashamed with Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Imagine how possibly that might have left them feeling.
Well, exactly. Maybe she's thinking, you know what? I don't fancy being in this family riddled with deceit and paedophilia or connections with paedophiles. Maybe they're both feeling a little bit of, what's that?
Claire Nicholson, have you seen the Mail's front page after going back to America?
Maybe
What do
they
you think?
both
Let me
feel,
have a
maybe
look.
this is their own way of clearing their carbon footprint, if you know what I mean. Saying, right, we don't want to take money from the populace. We don't want the privileges. We don't want the titles. We don't want to fly private jets all over the world. Maybe. But I suppose in a
We
sense,
don't know,
if
they
they've
might be
given us
going-
more, if they've given us more meat on the bones and given us more of a considered sort of statement, I suppose there wouldn't be such an outcry.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're going to live a very simple life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Latest news, breaking stories.
What's this? Meghan Markle is not bothered about royal work. She just wants to be in fairyland. Josh Pittard. But if you look at the Buckingham Palace statement, it's not as simple as just saying we're off to Canada, etc., etc. Their website has a lot more details. It says Kerry R. I like the royals, but I feel sorry for Harry, says Alison Bennett. He was made to walk behind. I know, we all do. I mean, I think we all...
We do.
Yeah, anyway, well, look, tell us your thoughts, guys. Share with us your thoughts. Is the Queen right to be furious? Is the Queen right to be hurt? Where does the Queen sit in this? Is it any of her business? Are these two youngsters? I mean, maybe. I wondered. You know, the Queen wasn't particularly sensitive about Lady Princess Diana's death, and she came under a lot of criticism and had to make a public statement. Was forced to make a public statement. You know, maybe some of that water runs deep with Harry on a level, even though he might be her favourite grandson. You never know. You know, you don't know, do you? What this reminds us is, regardless of money, wealth, or status, families are families.
Yeah, and the thing is, we can all think, oh my God, my family, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
But everybody's having the same problems. But, you know, a friend of mine said, the thing is, the royal family worked for as long as they never complained and never explained. As soon as they started saying to us, we're just the same as you with the same problems, people started going, hang on a minute, why are we paying all this money then?
Yeah. Does feel a bit like that analogy of you take a thread from a jumper and start pulling it and it just doesn't stop pulling. I do feel like Meghan and Harry have pulled a thread or itched, and now they're pulling this thread and it just won't stop.
What I hope for them is that it works out, that they heal rifts, that the distance will mean that Harry and William are able to be friends again, that the Queen is... I mean, there's a lot of ifs here.
Apparently Harry has an interview set up with Oprah.
Oh my God.
You're joking. Tracy Lindsay,
joking.
Really? Is that lined up?
Where have you seen that?
Whoa, bloody hell. Crazy shit.
God. I remember us talking about this when things were first starting to go a bit weird, and we were all saying, you know, the thing is, Meghan is trying to deal with this because she's from Hollywood, and that's what she knows. She's trying to deal with it in a Hollywood PR way, and it doesn't work with the royal family. You can't do that. And that's very Hollywood, isn't it?
As Jay Evan, 67, just said, and I read it before we came live, Madame Tussauds have already removed their waxworks from the family.
Can you believe that?
I mean, someone's gone in tonight.
Can you believe that? Something else there from Oprah. New York Times says Harry Oprah win.
Interview. Happy birthday, Xander Gibb, by the way. Happy birthday.
But when are these royals going to understand that these interviews are not a good thing? You would think that they would all be going, oh my God, I'm never going to sit down with a light on me and a camera and do an interview again.
No, absolutely.
Oh God, yeah, she has flown back to Canada tonight.
Good God.
Wow. Oh my God, it's such a massive story.
It's almost more news. It's almost a bigger news story that the waxworks have been removed from Madame Tussauds than the fact that Harry and Meghan have left the royal family.
What do you think, guys, about Harry doing it? I mean, the thing is about Oprah is she's an incredibly good interviewer, and she's very trustworthy, but
Oprah is part of Meghan's
plan, says Fiona Cargis. Well, there's been a lot of stars have come out, haven't they, supporting the whole thing. But to be fair, they don't really understand the royal family here and how it works.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I do feel sorry for the royal press, because actually they do protect them as well. Yeah. It is the other established, often foreign news agencies that will take stuff and make it into something else.
Yeah. And as Asiuga Mano 88 says, do you think Harry will be having a Pizza Express in Woking anytime soon?
God, no, I don't. No, and I don't think the royals should do any more interviews. No. They don't go well. They don't go well at all.
But do share your thoughts below, and obviously we'll be updating on the story when and if it changes, if she comes back from Canada, if they stay in the royal family, or more importantly, if the waxworks are put back in place.
Yeah, all that and so much more. And thank you. I can see there's so many new people joining us. Please do subscribe to the channel.
It's just down there.
And if you hit the notification bell as well, because we do tend to do, we just literally decided to do this live 2 minutes ago. Yeah. So we don't always promote it on our Instagram and stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay,
anyway, guys, thanks for all of your comments.
Good night.
It's much nicer doing them with you there. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.